Stick around, guys. In this video, I'm going to show you how we start our market season off with pre-plant organic fertilizer, some of the best you can get your hands on, and it doesn't cost us a dime. That's right, guys. I'm going to show you what we use to start our season off by amending all of our beds with this organic fertilizer. And it's one of the best and most nitrogen rich organic fertilizer you can get your hands on. And we get it in its rawest form, and I mean, it is unadulterated. It has not been through any kind of refinement. It is straight from the source, and you see it right there. That is a truckload of straight nothing but chicken litter. And in the area that we live in, North Carolina, there is poultry farms around every corner. There is a chicken house, seems like every mile you'll see another one. And a byproduct of these farmers raising all these chickens is that they have to have somewhere to get rid of the litter. And I know you've seen the litter barns at these farms, and most of these farmers have a contract with somebody that comes gets it from them. Most of the time it's another farmer that uses it on their field, whether it be hay field, whether it be agricultural crops, you know, whatever. So we have a understanding and a relationship with a farmer, and we don't use a lot of it. We do generally in the beginning of the season, but with the understanding that we go get a truckload or maybe a trailer load, you know, every so often. Now he's already committed to some other farmers, and he wants to make sure he's got enough to go around, but it doesn't cost us anything. We just go pick it up, and you can see, I mean, I took the farm truck over there and we took I think that was like 2 bucket loads and filled that truck up. Now I've been working with this stuff pretty much most of the morning. I worked with it some yesterday afternoon, but this is as far as I've got. I mean, and it wasn't no taller than what you see, but I've just been working right here, and what I do is I run it through my chipper shredder, and it turns it into almost like a powder. And you can see that's what it is. So it makes it real easy to spread. And I fill up the wheelbarrows and fill up the buckets, and I go down through here and amend each one of these rows. And you've seen me do this many times, and I'll pull up a row, 30-inch bed, that's what we use, a market bed, and before we mulch it, I'll put a layer of chicken litter on top of it. And I did these 2 yesterday and kind of tilt those in. You can see that stuff blended in here. But these are the 4 that I've done this morning. And it took me these 2 wheelbarrows, those 2 5-gallon buckets, and that 1 2.5-gallon bucket to do these 4 beds. And it's in there pretty thick. The kicker is we're not going to stop there. I'm going to take and till that in with my hand. I call it a tilter. What it is my weed eater with a tiller attachment on the end of it. And it works great for that. It's a whole lot cheaper than the tilter that you think I'm talking about, but this guy here is what I use. And basically I put it on my weed eater, and that's what I blend the soil with once I put my amendments on it. And that's what I'm fixing to do now. I've got 4 rows finished with all this chicken litter. And you can see that ammonia and that stuff ain't no joke now. That's years of use, but it'll eat a hole in your metal now if you ain't careful, if you don't keep it rinsed out. But we got these 2 beds and those 2 beds I got to tilt in. That one's already done. All it needs is mulch, and then we could actually, if we wanted to, we could plant in it, but I'm not, because I want this stuff to kind of mature a little bit in the soil, just to make sure that it's not a little too hot to put plants in. You can get chicken litter that's so fresh that it will actually burn your plants because it has so much nitrogen in it. They can't handle the amount of nitrogen that's in that. So the best thing to do, and I know how old this is, it's less than 60 days old, I do know that, but it's been in a dry barn, in a litter barn, and it's been out of the elements, and it's been kind of composting there. So it's not extremely hot, but I am still a little leery on planting it right now. So what we're going to do is tilt this in, and then we're going to water it in. We got a little bit of rain this morning, that's why it looks like it does, but we're going to tilt this in, and then we're going to mulch on top of that. So these beds will look like this when we're finished. That's why I'm not really worried about where you see the feathers and all that, because that, once it breaks down, is going to be more nitrogen. I think chicken feather, digested chicken feather or feather meal is like 13% nitrogen. So, you know, later on down the road, once those break down, those plants will have that to utilize. So yeah, that's, you know, in the purest form, chicken litter run through my grinder and sifted, well, not so much sifted as sprinkled on top of each individual bed, and then I'll put 3 inches of mulch on top of that, and plant into that is almost like a nitrogen bank, if you will, for those plants, because as this stuff starts breaking down, the soil utilizes it, and the bacteria and, you know, nutrients in the soil are available for the plants This stuff is just going to keep giving and keep giving and keep giving and keep giving. Now we will have to touch it up later on in the season, but it won't be like we have to put fertilizer down every other day. We will put, you know, we'll use fish emulsion on top of these beds and through the overhead sprinklers, but as far as put any hardcore nitrogen fixing fertilizers or amendments on it, that won't happen for a long time. All right, guys, so all these beds are tilth and amended and need to have mulch put on them, and then they'll be ready to plant. Now, you can see the feathers on top of this, and these had feathers on them yesterday, so that's what I'm saying. It ain't no big deal. They'll blow off, or else they'll go back into the soil. But once we mulch them in, it won't matter anyway. That's pretty much the gist of it. I'm getting ready to get on this tractor and pull up some long rows. I got some 100-foot rows I'm gonna do over here on this side, and this is where we're gonna plant cabbage down through here, cabbage and brassicas. But yeah, I got to pull up some rows and go ahead and get ready to start amending those, and I need to get this stuff off the truck anyway, so that's probably what I'm gonna spend the rest of the afternoon doing before I get ready to run some more compost on top of this stuff. But when all said and done, everything will look like this. This is what we're shooting for, but this is going to be underneath that, so as we put the plants into this mulch, they'll hit this layer of nitrogen rich soil, and it'll be just like boom, I mean a burst of energy, and they'll have all they need to make sure that they can go ahead and mature. All right, guys, so this is where we're going to end with this one. I know it's short, but I want to drive home the fact that you don't have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on organic fertilizers just to get the same outcome that we're going to get off the same stuff we got off of that truck. It didn't cost us anything. We had to go pick it up, yeah, and we got a little bit of time involved with grinding and all that stuff, but for the most part, you know, we saved ourselves hundreds of dollars with just by doing this. And the resources there, if you get out and look, I mean, if you're a backyard gardener, you won't need that much. I mean, you might need a 5-gallon bucket, and that'll do you for a long time. But, you know, as much as we go through and as many beds as we've got to do this year, we need a source that we can get it in this form. Yeah, we got that garden we got to worry with. We got the 100-foot garden on the other side of the high tunnel that we're getting ready to start on. And we even got these beds over here that we ain't even started on yet. So, yeah, we're going to need all we can get. So, yeah, check back in with us later on next week. I got something going on over here with these Hockerai turnips I want to show you guys, and we got something else we're going to put in place, and you'll really like it. So until next time, guys, we appreciate you stopping by. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.